Hey folks, this is Ben Yessel. How's it going? This nutrition video is going to be a bit different than some of the other ones I've been doing in the past because this is going to be focused around cost. Cost and how we tend to eat. And I have basically 24 different 1 week shopping plans. This is not including non-foods. Um, so you add on, just a little bit after that. So you get kind of an idea of, you can get kind of a different, get more of a concrete idea, regardless of how you guys are shopping or eating. And this is per person, by the way, for an adult. More in their prime. If they're older, probably get a little cheaper, because they're probably not as many calories or whatever. But let's get into this. This is really interesting. There's definitely some interesting trends here I've noticed. And we also can take into account nutrition and protein requirements and all this stuff. So here we go. Right off the bat, I'm going to say this. The vegetarians and folks that tend to eat more vegetables and seeds and stuff and plant foods are going to be, well, yeah, they're going to be in the black. They're going to be in good shape here. You'll see why. But we still like to get those complete proteins. So here we go. Let's get into this from, of course, animal foods. So I called it kind of this. These are not really diets. This is just kind of an eating pattern, or you'll see what I'm saying. So grocery list A for 1 week is aerobic. So this is someone who's in really good shape, and they're running a lot, or they're biking a lot, or they're really active. So you're seeing a lot of carbs here, a lot of carb foods, plus some other stuff. You can kind of see, I wrote out all the different foods here: bananas, oranges, rice, potato, carrots, onion, cauliflower. I'm sure you could put bread in there if you wanted to. There's certainly other foods you could add to this list without it being that much pricier, really. But so these vegetables and these cheap fruits like bananas, oranges, whatever. These aren't so great for your blood sugar, but they're still better than juice, right? And we throw in a little salmon there, just one fillet, really, and a little chicken. That's it. Hardly any animal foods. It was cheap. It only came to about $37 a week. That was cheap. But this is like not much more. A lot of folks, they're eating out sometimes and things, so it can affect things. And this is only the food budget for 1 week. So let's move on here a little bit. A bodybuilding diet. It's not as bad as you might think. Not as bad. This is the second column over here. B, bodybuilding. It's at $71 a week, which is, some would consider that expensive. This is really kind of more in the middle. More or less, depending on some. It's definitely a lot more than A. You can see we got beef and turkey and chicken and salmon and eggs, and that's you're getting a lot of calories. This person is probably consuming more calories than the aerobic person, and hopefully those calories and that protein, all that protein is going to the muscle. And hopefully this guy's a big, he's working out a lot, weightlifting and stuff, plus some vegetables, avocado. Yep, $71 a week. Not as expensive as you might think, even for these higher things. But this is it. I mean, this is it. It's just it's meat, a little bit of vegetables and quinoa. That's it. If you add to that, however you add to that, this is hardly. Gosh, this is like keto type stuff. It's hardly. I don't think there's. I mean, most carb. Well, yeah, pretty much. Okay, so C, a colorful diet. A lot more fruit, right? Fruits and vegetables. Big on produce. with a little bit of rice and black beans to kind of add in some protein. Probably not very much though, but you get protein from vegetables a lot of times, so it's just not very complete. So this person's probably pretty slim, whereas B, hopefully the B list, hopefully this guy was pretty muscular, right? Big boy. This guy is probably pretty slim. Should be. You never know. But yeah, this is probably the second cheapest list of all the lists. Really, really cheap to eat this way. Berries, grapes, oranges, vegetables, beans and rice, shallots and stuff. Really cheap at $32 a week. And again, these are rough approximations that that always take into account to where you shop, and it's frustrating when you're talking about a lot of foods that because this is per week. This is how much you're actually eating per week, and sometimes you'll buy something and it's in big. It's just like you'll buy it for a while, and then of course with produce, you'll forget about it. And that's why we hate wasting produce. But some things last a lot longer than a week, so it makes it a little tricky, But if you don't have to buy it next time, Anyway, that's always a huge wild card. We've talked about this stuff here, but this is, just what you'd be eating during the weekend, just this stuff. So I'm not talking about, we're not including, I'm not really including much condiments here, for instance, or notice I'm not including any juice. You just assume that you're just drinking water, no juice, no soda, because that stuff is, sweets, and no sweets either, no sweets. I don't even think I had chocolate in here, which you might want to add in, in their dark chocolate. So, dextrose kind of grocery list. This is somebody who is pretty athletic, but they're pretty trim as well. They're all about the quick fibers, developing your quick muscle fibers. So you're going to have some protein, but it's overall a little bit leaner type of diet, and not very much animal protein, just eggs and salmon. Really healthy diet, really, really healthy. Some sauerkraut, right? Dextrose, $46 a week. It's fairly cheap. Right? The salmon bumped it up a little bit. The colorful diet really is for somebody who's really consuming very few calories. Really, really, truly. The aerobic diet again is a lot of it's from carbs. There's a lot of carb calories there. That's for the whole week. So again, the bodybuilding diet, as you can see, is really much more calorie dense as well as complete proteins. But you're going to end up paying for it, right? Yeah. That's probably the cheap end too, really. Yeah. Anyway, trust me, folks, we have more expensive lists here, even more, right? Yeah. Okay. E. Just making things easy, right? Keep it easy and not too elaborate. This one was comparable with the colorful diet. And you're basically looking at salmon with eggs and hummus and almonds being like in the middle there. This is like a real bare bones type of thing for the week. Pretty much. I mean, that's pretty cheap. That's pretty darn cheap. That's just peas, carrots, apples, green beans, lettuce, cucumber, celery. Not much to this at all. But, it covers the bases pretty well, as you can see. It should nutrition-wise. You're noticing probably that I'm not including dairy. You can always add in a little bit of dairy, of course, but I just don't think it's... If you're eating a lot of vegetables and you're getting some vitamin D pills plus some outdoor sunlight type stuff, and maybe even supplementing it with some high quality calcium stuff and magnesium, you're probably getting the seeds and everything. If you're getting enough plant foods, you're probably getting enough calcium. So you can always get more calcium from dairy if you really want to, I suppose. As well as, fish and things always have calcium. So here we go. Sorry. Okay. This thing is slipping a little bit. Sorry. Okay. Okay. F, fruit flavor. Fruit flavors. I don't advocate doing this for longer than a week. This is almost fruitarian, but not really, because you have some pork and bacon in there. But it's basically emphasizing sweet foods. You're eating a lot of sweet foods, or a fair amount. and it's actually not very calorie dense. Look at pork and bacon it is, right? But in all honesty, no, you're not really consuming all that many calories for the week. If you really look at it, one box of strawberries, um, probably several oranges, depending on how expensive the orange is. A handful to several oranges. It's like one a day, and it's like a few boxes of blueberries and raspberries. That's not much calories. Grapes, you talk about a bag of grapes. It's gonna be a lifesaver. The cherries are expensive. But in the summer, it's gonna fill you up a little bit. But pork is gonna be vital for protein, complete protein. Well, bacon was a nice little treat. But you're looking at having some meatless days there. That's why it's getting into the fruitarian range. With a little bit of avocado and onion to kind of balance out all the fruit and apples. And that's in the middle. It's not cheap, but it's not exactly like super expensive. And so a lot of folks would want to add in a little bit of chicken or beef to that list, something like that. And that's how a lot of folks eat. And we all know that, well, you probably want to have some vegetables in there. Nuts and seeds and beans and vegetables. Anyway. Yeah, I know. Not very tasty stuff, but a lot of folks like to eat that way. I certainly love my fruit too. Grains. This one, I think, was the cheapest one. This is the cheapest list for the week. And it's possible to eat this way, but you're probably not going to get a whole lot of life-sustaining, good-for-you bioflavonoids from all the produce from vegetables. And well, I mean, there are vegetables here, as you can see, but you're not going to get a lot of. You're certainly not going to get. Are there any fruits on here at all? I don't think there are. No fruits, and you got green beans and broccoli and cauliflower. That's your vegetables. And so it really is emphasizing grains. And this is how a lot of people eat in the world. And $23 a week, that's super cheap, right? But a lot of folks will eat this for in a week's time. What they'll eat is even much less expensive than this. And we're definitely talking about grains. Definitely emphasizing grains. Grains are among the cheapest of foods. They're cheaper than seeds. I am hard-pressed to think of anything cheaper than grains, except for maybe really, really cheap vegetables. But vegetables aren't as calorie-dense. And so grains keep a lot of folks alive. That I'm talking about folks that really ought to be helped out a little bit, but maybe I don't know. It's just all the areas of the world where people just don't eat a whole lot. But it can be fine. It's a good life-sustaining kind of thing to not eat too much. But that's this kind of list. We're getting toward. This is starting to get toward tropical areas of the world, especially emphasizing. I know this is more an American style, but you're thinking like someone who's eating more millet, cassava, rice, a bit different kinds of rice, maybe some sweet potato, talking like Africa, and depending on the food, a little bit of changes when you get to like some certain areas of India, Southeast Asia, but that's or South America, that sort of thing, Central America. It's the tropical areas of the world I'm mostly talking about, but also in Europe and the United States when people are really trying to save a buck or two. This often turns into top ramen, which is not healthy at all. Right? Top ramen is really, really cheap, but it's not healthy. But yeah, I mean, this is grains. It's hard to get cheaper than grains. Grains and water, man. Yeah. Okay, bread and water for present diet, Okay, this is more of a, going on here a little bit. Hearty, H. So, as you can see, a lot of the cost of the food is coming from beef and sausages here. It's a bit more calorie-dense thing. But not as man, I don't know. Yeah, it's pretty calorie-dense, but it's not too crazy. So it's in the middle somewhere. And you're getting a lot of calories, again, from meat. Red meat and fat, bacon, eggs. So, yeah, this is a little bit more... This is a bit more like the applesauce is probably a little questionable for the keto diet, but this is probably how a lot of folks like Dr. Berg and Dr. Berry, like, steak and eggs, right? Steak and eggs. Yeah, Midwest diet. Well, anyway, so here we go. Farmland country. Okay, going on to an imaginative. Now, folks, this is the most expensive one. This is the most expensive one because this is kind of like throwing everything in except the kitchen sink. This is like, man, I just want to eat a lot of fish because it's really healthy, and I want to eat my vegetables, and I want to eat a lot of fruit. It's really colorful and really tasty, and I want to kind of go easy on everything else. But yeah, there's no meat in here. There's no meat in the imaginative list. It's just fish. There's a lot of olives, like a Mediterranean type of thing going on there a little bit, with some fruit and vegetables, and a lot of fruit. But it's expensive because look at how expensive. The number one food, the most expensive food that at least I eat, right? I don't. You guys drink wine, whatever. I understand, beer, wine. Wine's quite expensive, right? Boy, it is. Oh, boy. But this, if you're just talking about like Whole Foods, water plus food, right? The most expensive type of food that we see in grocery stores tends to be fish. Absolutely fish. You have some really premium cuts of meat, like grass-fed ribeye steak, like the really big, thick cuts, right? And porterhouses and filet mignons and lamb and bison, ribeye, all that stuff, right? But yeah, when it comes to fish, like mackerel. Actually, no, it's actually not. That's sorry. It's actually not that. It's halibut, salmon, swordfish. Of course, swordfish is controversial because of the mercury thing. Definitely shrimp is in there. Definitely shrimp, salmon, shrimp, halibut. Those kinds of foods can get so expensive, and this is why I think it's Andrew Zimmern is not healthy with how expensive fish is, because fish is should be a healthy part of your diet because it has so many good things about it. So again, here I am getting up on my pedestal, my pulpit here, saying fish needs to be less expensive. We need to have people be able to eat fish. And there's cheaper fish, but the cheaper fish is often not as nutritious as this is where it gets really, I'm not happy about how things are with fish, but at least we have plant foods, right? But yeah, this thing is expensive because we got at least a few fillets of salmon, depending on how pricey it is. Salmon is very expensive. Shrimp, like a big bag of wild caught shrimp. Oh man, shrimp is so expensive. And lots of grapes and strawberries to kind of lots of berries, lots of and olives, right? And asparagus, like a few bunches of asparagus, a few bags of asparagus, whatever it is. But yeah, this is not a very calorie dense thing over the week, man. This person is probably pretty slim. There's not a whole lot of calories here at all. But for that much money, $126 a week, just for this, with nothing else. It's really expensive. When it comes to fish, like a lot of folks just say, "Oh man, canned tuna, that's our limit, right? Canned tuna plus a fillet." But if you're talking about like feeding an entire family, this is where like cod, it still is the case that cod is one of the few choices really for an entire family. There's no way if you feed your family, if you have a family that they all eat salmon, they have a salmon dinner. My gosh, man. I mean, that you have to save up for that for some families. Some families can't do that. This is why I'm so upset with the fish prices and stuff. But maybe you have like half of a fillet for for kids and stuff, and then you have other foods in there to kind of round out the meal. Folks, I wish that fish was cheaper, but man, this is what you see: fish, vegetables, and fruit, and going for a lot of color. But that's the most expensive list. We gotta go on. This is kind of more like someone who really enjoys great old-fashioned American flavors, like a picnic if you ate like a picnic every day, and just like you might see a little bit of a German or kind of a German American trend here: the cherries and the potato salad type, butter, and apple pie, but you have to add in some flour and stuff, right? Strudel. Well, anyway, all that stuff. So this is kind of more the fruit, a lot of fruit and bread, and some flavorful stuff and butter. And that's in the middle. It's only $62 a week. Yeah, it's not bad. Again, because we're talking about chicken and pork and more affordable kinds of meat. And again, this is all only for one person, but this could work for a lot of folks. They're middle class, This could work. This could not. Fish is expensive, man. And some of the stuff, again, these other lists up here, again, grains, a grain diet is what a lot of people subsist on. So grains need, it's so important to have, seeds and grains, vegetables stay cheap. But I would still wish that more people could have fish and expensive fruits and berries and stuff and all that sort of stuff. At least if you don't overeat, that can help you live longer. So, okay, I call it the Killa diet. And this is kind of what a lot of martial arts guys, sports guys try to get into some range of this, right? I guess I'm thinking Mike Tyson, right? You're talking about Bruce Lee's a Killa, right? So we're definitely seeing a lot of vegetables here, some berries, and some like mix of fish, and a little bit of starches like sweet potato, and a little bit of meat, just a little bit, grass fed, So this is very healthy fish. This is very, very healthy diet in general. I'd say very healthy. Big on the healthy proteins, no junk. There's no junk in here. None. Green beans, broccoli, spinach, sweet potato, salmon, eggs, watercress, kidney beans, dried seaweed, for iodine, beef, mackerel, quinoa, blueberries, raspberries, cauliflower, pistachios, walnuts. And it's only in the middle. It's at $75 a week, which is, it's a little bit more, right? It's a little bit more, but it's still not over 100. See, by the way, if a list goes over $100 for the week, that's where it gets expensive. That's expensive. It really is. If you're talking about between like 50 to 100, that's in the middle. And cheaper than 50 is cheap. Like in the grain list, man, that grain list is only $23. Entire, I don't know. People, again, there are people that eat that way. And there are people who don't even have eggs. They need to have some more protein, like complete proteins. I don't know. So, okay. This is the light. And this is really cheap as well. Only $33 for the entire week. Only $33. There's a lot of food here too, but there's a lot of different low-calorie foods. This is a very low-calorie kind of. It's the Killa diet, kind of like the bodybuilding diet, has the bodybuilding actually of all these. Which one had the most? Well, anyway, we'll get to that. Anyway, so the light diet. We're talking about celery, limes, lemons, cucumber, romaine, tomato, rice, lentils, basil, watercress, cilantro, peas, green beans, carrots, leeks, shallots, vegetable broth. It's like soups and stuff. It's cheap. It's cheap. It really is. And, you make things stretch. Produce only lasts so long, but we're talking about El Cheapo diet again, stuff here. And this is a vegan. This is a vegan diet. Vegans, again, they just spend less on food, which is great. This is also more vegetable heavy, I think. There's some like lime lemon, very low sugar fruit there. Plus, did I have any other fruit? Well, the tomatoes kind of debatably, anyway. That kind of stuff. But we're talking about taking it easy on. Actually, yeah, this is almost like a vegan keto thing, really. Yeah, actually, that's right. It is very, very low sugar. Yeah, 33 a week. There's nothing that's cheap. Okay, going on here a little bit. Retreat. Now this one's probably the meaty and nutty diets, as you can see, the nutties on the right. They're probably among the most calorie dense plants here. This guy's, we're looking at. It's a lot of calories per day. A few grass-fed beef steaks. At least one big pork package, like grass-fed bison, ground beef. Not ground beef, ground bison beef kind of thing in a package. Duck eggs. Again, a lot of calories from those duck eggs. Big, a lot of healthy cholesterol, right? Yeah. Anyway. Whole thing of eggs, and if you're getting that 18 count, that's gonna be a little bit more for pasture raised. A back of organic turkey, probably, I don't know, thighs or drums. They're pretty cheap. Turkey's cheap. Chicken, package of chicken, organic. A fillet of salmon, just to, get that in there a little bit. Some clams. I had bad experience with canned clams, so I'm staying off of those for a while. Bratwurst. That's a big thing of bratwurst. Or like few packages of smaller packages of bratwurst sausage. A few cans of tuna. A dried seaweed package, at least one. Some grass-fed milk, potatoes, and sauerkraut. And that's $84 a week, which is fairly expensive, but it's not over $100, right? So it's getting up there a little bit, but this is how a lot of folks eat. And the meaty diet is almost like a carnivore diet. But the carnivore diet also is people are talking about raw meat and stuff. I'm like, that's insane, folks. I just would never do that. It's absolutely insane. But that's a lot of meat, so I don't advocate doing that. Oh, yeah, big boy, like a Brock Lesnar or something going on there. Nutty diet. I know. This is a nutty diet. Oh, this is really healthy. This is a lot healthier than the last one, in my opinion, but it's also really, really calorie dense. Boy, but it's only $48 a week. It's much, much less than the meaty diet, right? Even if you're packing down those pistachios and cashews and walnuts and things, Brazil nuts, some vegetables, it's so cheap. It's compared to the meat. It's really, really cheap. It's hard to overeat on nuts because they'll fill you up so fast. So people talk about how nuts are expensive. Yeah, but they last a while as long as you don't forget about them. Nuts are always worth getting, in my opinion. On the go diet. On the go. This one was a little bit more in the middle, a little bit more. The reason why it was a bit more was $30 for that beef jerky. Now, I'm talking about beef jerky like a lot. So you're on the go, but you need a protein source. It's not going to go bad. And you're talking about heat sometimes in the car, right? So no mayo. Like you're talking about a sandwich, don't put that mayo on the sandwich, right? No mayo, none. No. Because if you're on the go, if you're in the car a lot. This is if you're in the car a lot. 69. I'm gonna have to go a little faster here, folks. Sorry. So that's the on the go diet. $69 a week. That hummus, yeah, hummus, beef jerky, and all that other sandwich or it's the brown paper bag stuff. The Peaceful diet, $47 a week. It's fairly cheap. The avocados are gonna be up there a little bit, but we're talking about basically a vegan diet. This is vegan, fairly cheap, $47 a week. Asparagus, avocado, olives. Lead the pack there with the prices. You can see this. Okay, so quality diet. This is like a nutritarian type of deal, somewhat nutritarian. Salmon and eggs only being the only animal foods. And you're looking at the middling arena, price-wise. It's only 12 different foods. You get some mushrooms in there, including some mushrooms, which, okay. Gotta eat your mushrooms. Yeah, I mean, walnuts and salmon are among the most expensive foods there, and everything else is not too bad. The rustic diet. This is another farmer diet type thing. It's actually fairly cheap. It's middle, $46 a week, middling to cheap. Pork ribs and beef. Pork and beef. That's about as expensive as it gets because the pancake and waffle mix. You cost more to get like a big package of it, but you per meal or per week, it just lasts forever. Talking about flour, basically. It's flour, Put that stuff in a waffle maker, and it's so cheap. But it's not super healthy, right? Okay, anyway, moving on here a little bit. Savory, spicy list. This is like Indian, Pakistani, Indian range of... I'm looking at more India here, originally. And it's in the middle. But this is like kind of Indian American, or this is pretty a bit more poultry and lamb oriented, even than how a lot of folks eat in India. I realize that a lot of folks in India will probably have more vegetables because they're cheaper, and rice and stuff. But we like to eat our meat in America. It's Americanized Indian, right? Lamb and chicken, right? So it's looking at $59 a week. You could definitely cut that down if you're looking at more of a traditional Indian diet that's more rice and vegetable oriented. But or like the non-bread up toward Pakistan and stuff. So okay, thrifty, $40 a week. It's not really that thrifty, right? It's cheaper. This is like your standard American. I want to get cheap food. The chicken is not organic. And looking at chicken having most dinners being chicken, right? Some form or another. A lot of chicken. And tuna a little bit. But you got your iceberg lettuce, you got your beans and bread and apples and carrots and green beans and reverse, right? Got your basics. This is all the basics. American basics, right? It's actually not super cheap. If you're talking about chicken, a lot of chicken. If you go easy around chicken, you get more vegetables in there. But again, it's so some people might go bigger into dairy, right? Cheap cheese, that sort of thing, or milk. If they're going to save money on chicken, they'll try to make it last by making meatloaf, ground beef. All kinds of ways of making that standard American diet last a bit longer, but it's not super healthy. This is the second most expensive list, the Urbane diet, at $104 a week. Yeah, that shrimp is making an appearance again. Grass-fed beef, wild-caught salmon, wild-caught shrimp. Really expensive, folks. But, oh man, is it indulgent. Mediterranean stuff, avocado, asparagus, grapes. Really high-quality grapes. And all that fancy schmancy stuff with all the herbs and rosemary and shallots and olive oil. The veggies and the variety thing, this is actually fairly cheap at $46 a week. So this is a vegan diet again. Vegan. So you got some sauerkraut in there, lentils, rice for protein, plus a whole bunch of different vegetables and a little bit, is there any fruit in here? Mostly vegetables. We get limes and raspberries, but they're basically just about all vegetables. Veggies, the veggie thing. Watery diet. $59 a week. This is actually in the middle, but this is just foods that have a whole bunch of water in them. So this is very low on calories, but you get rice and lentils. And this is going to probably make you live till you're 100. Very, very low calories. Keeping young diet, $62 a week. This is all the good stuff that's good for your skin and life sustaining. So you're going to live till ripe old age. But again, this is basically vegan. No animal foods. So what's our summary here? Getting close to being done here a little bit. Well, the summary, what I'm trying to say is vegans spend less on food. Is it worth it? Is the animal foods worth it? Well, it's nice to get those complete proteins, man. And meat is tasty, but I wonder if we're spending too much on meat. And gosh darn, all fish is so expensive. Wish it was cheaper. All right. Catch you guys later. Take care. Bye.